So, good morning and welcome back to Daily Transfer Update. Quite a few players to talk about today. Let's start with a bit of positive news. Well, I suppose it could be seen as positive news, is William Saliba. Apparently that is now a done deal, just waiting on the announcements from both clubs. He's going to be loaned back to St.Etienne for the season. Roughly around £27 million is the fee. A tiny proportion of that is being paid up front. And then he will go back on loan to St.Etienne for the season, and then we get him next summer. Now, the reason I said it's kind of good news, I like the fact that Arsenal are looking after the future, trying to get some young talent into the club. I think that's absolutely fantastic. Great news. Fantastic. Brilliant. But £27 million for an 18-year-old kid playing in France that, let's be real, only Roma were interested in him, and Wolves, I think. £27 million, and we've been held to ransom by St Etienne over, well, you can have him, but you pay another £10 million if you want him now. I'm sorry, but only 3 clubs were in for this guy. One of them pulled out, and that was Wolves. And Roma, he didn't want to go there. So we were the only club he wanted to come to. How has this ended up with us paying £27 million? And people say we're tight and we're skint and we're this and that. I'm sorry, we've just paid £27 million for an 18-year-old no one had heard of 2 months ago. Make of that what you will. But listen, I like the fact we're looking after the future. That's cool. I just think the transfer fee is ridiculous. I think it's a little bit overpriced. I haven't seen him play. He might be absolutely wonderful, but then that begs the question as to why only Roma and Wolves were in for him. Why wasn't anybody else in for him? If he's the next Varane, which we keep being told he is, how comes nobody wanted him? How comes it was just us that were in for him with Roma and Wolves? I don't get it. I genuinely don't understand how we have ended up paying £27 million for this kid. Listen, he might come in and be absolutely superb and be worth 3 times that by the end of the following season, but it's a big risk. 18 years old, you never know how he's going to adapt when he comes into a new country, new language, etc., etc. And I think it's a big risk paying that much money. But listen, ain't my money, so I don't really care in the long run. But I just think it's a big risk, and I think we need someone for now. I know it's not coming out of now's budget, so like I said, I'm not too fussed that we've sorted someone out for the future. I just think that we should be concentrating on getting deals done now, rather than deals for next year. But that's just my opinion. Leave it in the comment section. Are you happy that we're signing William Saliba? Now let's move on to Christian Bielik. He was in talks with AC Milan, and they have broken down. Now it is reported that Leeds United are interested in signing him. Leeds are selling one of their players to Barnet, or I think it's Bayern. It might be Brentford, actually. Sorry, I haven't really done my homework for this, have I? But yeah, I think they're selling one of their centre-backs to one of them 2 teams. And they have identified Bielik as a replacement. Now, he obviously wanted to go to AC Milan. He had talks with AC Milan. Everything was progressing fine. It was all going well. And then the bombshell about playing time. He wanted assurances that he was going to get enough playing time. And AC Milan couldn't give him that, really. So it ended up with him pulling the plug on that. Leeds United are now the front runners for him, the favourites to sign him. And listen, he done really well at Charlton last season, but I don't think he can step up a couple of levels to the Premier League. I think Championship probably is about where he's at. And if he does do well in the Championship next season, then you could say, well, hang on a minute, maybe, just maybe, he can play in the Premier League. But I don't think he's good enough for Arsenal. I've maintained that for a long time now, and my thoughts ain't changed on it. But if we can get a little fee for him, get him off the books, wish him well off on his travels to wherever it may be, Leeds United, AC Milan, or anywhere else. But listen, I don't dislike the guy. I just don't think he's good enough for Arsenal. But that's just my thoughts on it. Let me know yours in the comments section. Let's move on to the next player we're going to speak about, and that is Tiemoue Bakayoko. I can't even believe I'm talking about this guy on an Arsenal-related transfer update. But yes, unbelievably, he is linked with a move to Arsenal and to Man United as well. Now, I don't know whether this is just his agent that's put this out there to try and get him a deal at Chelsea. Personally, I don't think he's going to get any game time at Chelsea. I don't think Lampard's going to use him. and he's been on loan at AC Milan. Now, they obviously didn't want to keep him. He's gone back to Chelsea. And I think that his time at Chelsea has just been absolute rubbish, let's be honest. He's not come in and been the Monaco Bakayoko, the one that we see marauding through midfields over in France. And let's be real, when he played for Monaco, we were all screaming, go and sign him. In a way, I'm glad we didn't, because we would have wasted about £40 million on him. And yeah, it's not gone well for him. And listen, I don't want this guy anywhere near Arsenal Football Club. He's flopped massively in England. He didn't cover himself in glory at AC Milan last season. And I just genuinely don't think that he suits the Premier League. I think he's too big, if that makes any sense. I think he carries a little bit too much weight. The game's passing by, people run off of him, people are more agile than him. And I know there's other players in the league that are the same body size and shape as him, but I just think that he's not mobile enough with all that weight on. And it's hard for him to drop the weight, because then he loses his physicality side, he loses other attributes and stuff like that. But you know, at the end of the day, £40 million, and he's massively flopped at Chelsea. Why do we want one of their rejects? We've already been linked with Gary Cahill. Now we're being linked with this guy. We've already had Petr Cech come in. No thanks. Don't want another Chelsea reject on the books. We've had enough of them over the years. William Gallas being another one. So yeah, don't want any of these rejects at the club. So yeah, let me know in the comments what you guys would do. Would you take Tiemoue Bakayoko at Arsenal? I think I know the answer to this one, to be honest with you. Now let's move on to another bit of good news, and that is Mohamed El Neni. And he is linked to a move to Bordeaux. Now, Egypt got knocked out of the African Cup of Nations in stoppage time the other night. Fantastic goal as well. What a breakaway goal that was. But yeah, they have been knocked out. The country weren't happy about it. It's all kicked off over there, and the players have been getting a lot of abuse. So listen, I don't wish that on anyone, but at the same time, it's all about talking about El Neni, the footballer now, for Arsenal, and that is not a very good footballer. I did a stream about this guy yesterday. Scored a great goal against Barcelona and done absolutely nothing since. So if we can get a transfer fee for him, which is reported to be about £7 million, which is there or thereabouts what we paid for him, then rip their arms off. Get him straight across the channel, get him into France, and thank you very much. Thanks for the goal against Barcelona. It's time to say goodbye. So yeah, there we go. But yeah, there's only a few weeks left of this transfer window, 5 weeks actually, and 2 days. And then it shuts at 5 o'clock on the day before the Premier League starts. So that's going to be interesting to see what teams do. Other teams around us are starting to spend. Leicester have signed Yuri Tillemans, and Everton are linked with Malcolm this morning as well. So you know, there's going to be a lot of movement in the next week or so. But I'm a little bit gutted that we haven't signed more than Martinelli this summer. I must admit, I did think by the time we flew off to America, and there's still time, there's still 2 days before they fly off, I was hoping and expecting us to have had at least one more player on the plane. But you never know. We shall see what happens. We're linked to so many players at the moment. Still 2 more days until we fly off to America anyway. So it's still possible. You know, Kieran Tierney could be done. Wilfried Zaha, he scored the winner last night to get him into the semi-final. So yeah, they're in the semi-final of the Cup of Nations. You never know. These players could be done in the next couple of days, but it's looking highly unlikely the more every hour passes. So I don't know. Anyway, I'm going to stop rambling on. Leave it all in the comments section. Let me know your thoughts on all of the players. Mohamed El Neni, Christian Bielik, Tiemoue Bakayoko, and William Saliba. That's it. I had to look at my notes. William Saliba. Leave it all in the comments section. Let me know your thoughts on all of them. I will be back at 5 o'clock with my stream as normal. And yeah, until later on. Oh, don't forget as well, subscribe, like, and share the content around as well. Let's build this channel up to 30,000 as quick as I possibly can. Thanks very much to everyone who subscribed. Laters, peeps.